Greetings and felicitations, YouTube. Y'all of the Appian Way here. We are back in Troy because guess what? The multiplayer is gonna come out soon. Soon! There's gonna be a beta soon. So yes, I'm playing Mycenae, trying to wrap my head around, you know, the best tactics and strategies to use as Agamemnon and Mycenae. And I'm playing against a Sarpedon list here. Let me tell you, I don't know if Sarpedon's supposed to be a direct counter to Mycenae, but yeah. Also, one of the things I really want to explore while I'm going over this battle is some of the other archers out there. A lot of talk has been going around about how, you know, the Trojan princes are the best archers in the game, or maybe Penthesilea's skirmishers, or the or Hippolyta's. But I want to make an argument here for armored Lycian archers, and let me zoom on over this way. Here we go. The bows of Mycenae, okay? When it comes to multiplayer rosters, the bows of Mycenae are not limited, meaning that you can take more than 2 or 3. And the number of their unit, at least in the standard settings, is 45 per unit. Same goes for the armored, actually the armored Lycian archers, you can get 60 in each unit. And they're also not limited to how many you can pick. Why do I bring that up? Because the multiplayer is gonna boil down to what can you take, and Paris can only take 2 Trojan princes. Okay, he doesn't get more, and his faction is really good at archery. But how it'll play out in campaign is different from how it'll play out in multiplayer. So, with that said, let's look at this roster. Yes, this is a replay. I am curious to see if the replay system is still totally broken or not. So, we're watching a replay. I've taken 2 armored chargers. I have 1 in the trees out here protecting some of my skirmishers, and I have 1 back here behind my force. I cannot cross this mountain to support this chariot, which I put out here, 2-handed spear chariot. My line is made up of 2 spearmen, 1 on each side. These are medium infantry spear and shield. 2 armored spearmen, the heavy shield variant. I'm sorry, and there's another spearman in the middle. I did not take Agamemnon's heavy 2-handed axe chargers. I can't remember their name, but he has 2 of each. There's 2 types of heavy infantry that Agamemnon can take, and you can take 2 of each of those. I put Agamemnon on foot here, and up on the hill, I put 2 light javelin men. You can take 3 with Agamemnon's forces, and I took, of course, the 2 bows of Mycenae. Facing up against Sarpedon, who is charging at me. He's got 2 units of Lycian champions, 1 here and 1 here. He's got 2 units of companions of Sarpedon. I gave him an Eastern spearman or 2. There's an Anatolian youth here. Here's an armored Lycian archer. He split his army in half to come at me. Here's the other companions of Sarpedon. Here's the other armored Lycian. I also gave him armored giant spearmen and a unit of heavy Lycian chariots. And there's Sarpedon himself. The reason why I bring armored giant spearmen is because these guys are anti-chariot tools. Now, here's what I think is the biggest weakness in the Agamemnon roster. There are no really good anti-chariot options. You're just gonna have to catch a chariot in a bad position and then run it down with something like armored chargers. There's a little bit of speed built into Agamemnon's 2-handed units. Like this one right here is a 35, I believe. Yeah, so all of the 2-handed heavy infantry in Agamemnon's army is a speed of 35. It's still shy of the 45 you need to be super successful, but hey, it's definitely... They're definitely not slouches either. So, seeing that he's bringing the armored giant spearman out here to face down my chariots, I'm going to go ahead and activate my chariots, bring them out towards the side here, and I'm going to go straight into these eastern spearmen and just try to run them over and get into other units. Soon, the armored Lycian archers over here are going to start taking shots at my bows of Mycenae, and for the most part, I'm able to just ignore it. Let's go ahead and speed up to get to the actual confrontation. Here we go. And here comes that charge. They managed to brace just in time, and watch this charge. Bink. They take plenty of damage from it, and I'm going to go ahead and pull right through. but they managed very, very well, I'd say. But he's left some armored Lycian archers wide open. And I'm going to go ahead and start raining down javelins on top of this heavy infantry blob. He gets his chariots right into my spear line that's braced for it, and I charge him with my armored chargers. I put Agamemnon in on it, and I'm thinking, okay, this is a done deal. I got this chariot unit. Not so fast. Here comes Sarpedon, and those chariots, they back out, and they start moving along down the line. I'm raining javelins and raining arrows down on these Lycian champions here. And look at this. He just pulls right through my armored spearmen and my regular spearmen like nothing. At this point, I'm worried he's going to come up the hill and get to these guys, because I've already ordered this armored charger to come on down the hill and come at the bows of the armored Lycian archers from behind. I did catch this one with the chariot. I've got this unit routing. He thankfully pulls his chariots back into the blob. He's going to try and just do a lot more running over. And I'm just hoping that my armored spearmen are going to be able to hold this down against Lycian champions and against companions of Sarpedon. Here comes that eastern spearman that I ignored. The armored giant spearmen start to catch up with my chariots. Now these guys, their speed's 50, and that's hampered currently, I believe, by the tall grass. That's incredible. They have great amounts of speed. The armored Lycian archers, they see my armored chargers coming. For the most part, they take plenty of damage, but they're not losing models yet, which is good. Speaking of losing models, my chariots are getting torn up. The armored Lycian archers, as you can see, they only lost half their health and only about 11 models. Miraculously, I feel like the armored Lycian archers, that armor saved their lives against a regular chariot. But my chariot is at 1 XP chevron now. Back here in the mainline fight, this Companions of Sarpedon is just sitting here, and I'm trying to take advantage of that as much as possible. I have regrouped spearmen here. I'm going to send them back down the hill. This unit of spearmen is routing. I've got these guys in reserves, and they're ready and able, but they are taking fire from the heavy Lycian chariot. Alright, we're moving on to the next stage of the battle. Is the armored giant spearmen having chased off the chariots. They're now joining this fight, along with the heavy Lycian chariot. And I believe actually they're tired, they're almost broken. Sarpedon activates his Aristea, and the Companions of Sarpedon are dominating this engagement. I was able to get my armored charger into this through that Anatolian youth, but now it's sitting here getting shot at by both armored Lycian archers. Alright, so this is broken now. This is not how this turned out. Pretty sure that this fight is now taking on a mind of its own. So we'll see how the AI does better or worse than I did. This battle was actually really entertaining. It came down to the wire. Right down to the wire. There was very little left. I had to use my light javelin men actually as a late game light infantry unit to try and clean up some of the infantry. And I had seriously thought I had lost. There's only Sarpedon left and my skirmishers without any ammo, and a couple of infantry units. Alright, so armored chargers did get into the armored Lycian archers over here, and the chariots have reactivated. Looks like they're going to go after the armored Lycian archers as well. That's going to rout this Lycian archer, and this one is going to get hit by chariots, and who knows, they might actually survive. That armor does them really good against chariots, and these chariots are not very, well, they're not braced for it, so they're going to run, and then they're going to get run over. So you see their morale dip right away. That's the white bar, just tanking their morale. Meanwhile, the armored chargers are going to reactivate and try and get back into the fight. There goes Agamemnon. Going to try and put as much melee power to charge into this as possible. Look at this, the armored giant spearmen, plenty of health. What I ended up using to deal with them was actually one of the noble youths, or I can't remember its name. It's the light spear option. Yeah, and there are currently none left on the battlefield. If you look at this, I've actually got my light javelin men are coming around. They're about to hit these just regrouped armored Lycian archers. The chariots are gone. They lost that engagement with the armored Lycian archers. Let me say that again. Chariots lost this engagement against armored Lycian archers in melee. Okay, so we've got down here armored chargers versus armored giant spearmen with arrows from the bows of Mycenae raining down from above. This is an interesting look. And it looks like the armored giant spearmen just got routed by all of this. And they're taking arrows in the back as they run. Oh, by the way, the Blood DLC is out. I hope you guys enjoy. It's very comedically red down here. Let me tell you, the colors are very vibrant. It's quite entertaining, actually. So the armored giant spearmen are not routing. They're in the thick of this fight. Let's see here. You can see it looks like some cycle charging going on. Or they've just, they're pulling out and they're going to start chasing down most of these broken infantry. All that's left in this fight now is the armored spearmen. Alright, so the light javelin men have routed this armored Lycian archer. And this armored Lycian archer is out of the mix completely. We still have the two bows of Mycenae. One of them is going to grab Sarpedon here because it's out of ammo. Or it should be. It was. Yeah, it's out of ammo, and this one is out of ammo as well. Here comes... Oh, that's actually a routing unit. The armored giant spearmen are routing. We have a spearman versus eastern spearman engagement. I don't even know what the difference is. It looks like the eastern spearmen have less armor, less speed. Generally, the spearmen look like a better unit than the eastern spearmen, but they have the same damage output. Yeah, so this should go in the direction of the Mycenaean spearmen over the eastern spearmen. Look at this. You got 2 units of bowmen in here now. The companions of Sarpedon are exhausted and routing. Sarpedon has to fight this by himself. And here comes the light javelin men to try and save the day. The Lycian champions are almost out of this. And I think that was it, actually. I think they're routing now. So they're going to be escorted off the battlefield unceremoniously by the light javelin men, or they should be. It's now just the armored spearmen and this Lycian champions. Look at that. And the armored spearmen should win this just on health points alone. This unit of light javelin men is coming back, or it should be, or maybe it'll just sit there for the rest of the battle. I don't know. Nothing is going according to script. The 2 bows of Mycenae are facing Sarpedon by themselves, but here comes the Lycian champions with a rallying cry, trying to save Sarpedon. Destroy the foe, indeed. Oh, just eviscerated that guy's arm. How unfortunate. They're fighting in melee with their bows in their hand. But brave, brave souls. Oh, there goes a head. That's what the audience was hoping for. They were looking for those heads to come rolling off. Oof, oof. Okay, the main melee fight is now gone as these eastern spearmen have been routed off. And here comes a companion to Sarpedon, have regrouped. They're going to try and get down here and deal with some bows of Mycenae. Bows of Mycenae have 33 armor right now. It looks like it's actually taken a bit of a dip. The melee damage is 125. Melee defense right now at a 29. Sarpedon, his stats are also taking a huge dip from all of that exhaustion, so it'll be surprising to see if the bows of Mycenae can carry this. They both picked up XP this battle. Companions of Sarpedon have as well. There's only 8 of them left. And here comes the reinforcements. Spearmen are now diving in here. And soon, the light javelin men are going to dive in here, and I think this is going to end up that last-minute victory just like I had done, even though it went off script. Oh yeah, those javelin men caught that broken Lycian champion. These companions of Sarpedon are now shattered. They're not coming back. They're not coming back, and Sarpedon's morale is starting to take a dip. Oh, but he breaks the spearman. What is going to happen? Is he going to be able to break another spearman unit, this armored spearman, or is he just going to be... Oh, he's going back and forth. He really wants to fight and die by this tree. That seems to be his decision right now.
Victory is close enough to taste.
It's just Sarpedon. Unless this unit regrouped back here. No. Yeah, they did regroup. The Eastern Spearmen... Oh, they've routed by light javelin men. Sarpedon has shattered. That's it. There you go. A Cadmean victory, if ever there was one. So that was actually fairly close to the end result that I had. A minor variation, some small differences. As you can see, they picked up plenty of XP in the armored Lycian archers. A secret weapon to be sure, against a chariot. I never would have thought that they could have held even you know, like a chariot that's at half health, but they definitely benefited from having the armored giant spearmen for anti-chariot work. Now let me go show you the Agamemnon roster, and let me show you why I'm not too terribly excited about it. They have a lot of glaring gaps in their roster. All right, so this is a charging infantry army, like right here. Let's see, two of these, as many of these as you want. Okay, the armored chargers is what I was using in that last battle. 100 anti-large damage, or I should say 100 damage plus an anti-large bonus. Just 180 points more. The Agamemnon's guards is a even bigger armored charger. More health, more armor, more morale, more melee attack, more melee defense, and more charge bonus. All right, and then 20 points above that is Agamemnon's companions, who have armor piercing on top of their 128 damage. These guys have they have more melee attack than Agamemnon's guards, less damage. I'm sorry, I'm looking at this backwards. So they have more melee attack than Agamemnon's guards. They have less melee defense, but they have more damage and more charge bonus. Honestly, there's really very little to differentiate these two other than the weapon choice. Otherwise, as you can see, 35 speed, 35 speed, 35 speed. That's really solid. That's actually very, very good for a heavy infantry. Most heavy infantry is rocking. Oh gosh, this one's at a speed of 35 too. The armored swordsman. Most heavy infantry, I would say, clock in at about a speed of 28, like the armored spearmen that I used in that battle. Shielded spearmen, shielded clubmen, light swordsmen. This is a good unit. I wish it had javelins, but it does not. And then you can go wrong with militia. Don't even bother with this unit. If you're going to take cheap infantry to fill in the ranks, go with the I would say go with the young spears, because they're a much better charging unit with the 24, and their weapons are just vastly superior to a militia's weapons. 78 damage with bonuses on large, swordsmen, and axemen, whereas the militia has no bonus whatsoever. Armor of 10. They both have armor of 10. This one at least has a shield bonus, I guess. But if people are wasting their ammo at young spears, then that's their own fault. As for ranged units, the stars of the show right here are the light javelin men, which you can take 3 of, and the bows of Mycenae, which you can have as many of as you want. Bows of Mycenae are a very good unit. They've got really fantastic morale, clocking in at 70. Their melee damage is 125. Their melee defense is 40. Like, I'm kind of curious. Let's compare some of these melee stats against, say, Club Warrior. Here's a Club Warrior. Okay, this is meant to be a melee guy, alright? The bows of Mycenae have better armor. The bows of Mycenae have less speed and less melee attack. Okay, that's fine. It's an archer unit. It has more melee defense at 40. It has more damage. Alright, like, comparable stats, if you think about it, to a Club Warrior. They don't have the hit points, but they're also half as large of a unit. There's only 45 of them. They also have the benefit of being able to, when outside of combat, this unit replenishes hit points over time. What? I just saw that. I didn't even know that. They can... okay. Okay, fine. They have healing. They totally have battlefield healing. The bows of Mycenae have battlefield healing. Okay. Who else is battlefield healing now? Now I'm really curious. That's got to be expendable. Yep. Agamemnon's companions and Agamemnon's guards have battlefield healing, as do the armored chargers, the armored swordsmen, the armored spearmen. Any of the heavy infantry options have battlefield healing. Oh, so does the shielded spearmen. So why is this good to know? This means that the way to fight with them is hit and run tactics. Even though they're a heavy infantry unit, you want to charge in, hit the enemy, and then you want to get out and give your guys a chance to heal up. That's pretty fantastic. Let's talk about Agamemnon's abilities. Leader of Men is a buff to melee attack and melee defense for people that are around him. The Blood Sacrifice increases his rage when activated, and grants more morale and weapon damage. Is actually kind of cool to use. The Rallying Cry for a morale boost, and he has Reinvigorate, which he can pop and give everybody around him 18% stamina. That's pretty much it for Agamemnon. He's a tanky guy. I pretty much used him as a fire and forget in many scenarios. Just kind of left him in the thick of the battle and just let him fight and fight and fight. Now let's get to those weaknesses in the roster. What is he missing? His mythical creatures are two of what I think are the least impressive ones. He has the Minotaur, which is outperformed every time by the Cyclops, and does its charge ability just doesn't even work the way it should. And then the Spartoi are great, but you can also get, at the cost of 1,200, you can get Armored Chargers. The Armored Chargers compared to the Spartoi. The Spartoi have less health. They have much less armor. They have less morale, even. They are a faster unit at 47. 47 is an important speed that passes that 45 threshold. They have fantastic melee attack, but the melee defense is only a 42 versus the 48. And then you have plenty of damage that they can put out against large targets. The downside to this, though, is that though they have 82 more damage points, they only have 45 in their model count. There's only 45 of them versus the 68 that goes into an Armored Chargers. I'm not sure that the damage payoff works. And then you want to know what else that the Spartoi have that the Armored Chargers don't. Spartoi have Rampage, meaning that you'll probably lose control of them. They have Unbreakable, though, which is useful. And they have their good flanking attack improvements, but they also don't have Battlefield Healing. I don't know, you tell me which one you think is the more useful unit. I think it's the Armored Chargers. The Spartoi are an okay unit if you need... If you were just really, really wanting... but you're not even limited in how many Armored Chargers you can take. Never mind. I was about to say, this might have been one of the units you're only allowed 2 of, but nope. You could take a whole army of them. So, yeah. I just don't see any reason to pick 2 Spartoi over 2 Armored Chargers. Or 4 Armored Chargers. Or 6 Armored Chargers. With these mythical creatures, they don't have any good tools for taking out chariots. If they had a heavier javelin unit, maybe, I don't know, maybe the skirmishers, maybe they could pull it off. The bows of Mycenae, they just their missile damage is only 15 armor piercing points. What about the light javelin men? How do they do here? So they have armor piercing, which is good, at 15 armor piercing, but this is also 15 armor piercing, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So you can take 3 light javelin men, and they can help you with chariots armor, but you don't have anything to stop the chariot. I was even with a thick infantry line braced, struggling to stop them, even chasing them down with Armored Chargers, struggling to stop them. If I had a unit of giants, or if I had a unit of cavalry, I'd be able to do something about chariots. But chariots is a huge, huge problem for Agamemnon. Well, let's go ahead and build up another army here, and I'm going to take you guys into another battle, alright? I'll be right back. Alright, for the next battle... Oh god, look at all that mud. So much mud. This is what I gave the Sarpedon line. I gave them Sarpedon on his... which chariot is this? I think it's just his light skirmishing chariot. I brought 5 units of Khopesh fighters. These guys are pretty cool. This is unique to Lycia. They've got Khopesh swords, which are just awesome. Alright, yep, the line of Khopesh fighters. These are cool. So these are unique to Sarpedon's army as well. The Lycian winged chariots, they clock in at like 620 funds. So really cheap light chariot here. And presumably they'll be really quick for it too. Right now their speed is drastically hampered, though, because it's sitting in the mud. Let's see what about one that's not in the mud. This one's in tall grass, I think. No, its speed is 100. That's really good. 100 speed on a chariot. That's really good. You can only take 2 of them in the Sarpedon alignment. I said it again. In the Sarpedon line, but there we go. I brought the Armored Lycian Archers because they were definitely MVPs in that last battle. I brought 3 units of Light Skirmishers because they might want to do some anti-heavy armor, anti-heavy infantry armor damage, which would make sense if you're facing Mycenae. The Light Skirmishers have that armor-piercing missile damage. Not Agamemnon. Here we go. Yeah, his missile damage is 5 armor-piercing missile damage points out of their 14. This is actually really pathetic damage. Alright, where was I? Oh, and I also brought Giant Champions. I upgraded the Champions from the Spear variant to these beefy boys with clubs. Damage-dealing charging unit. They're much more of an anti-infantry unit, but they can probably slow down a chariot if they were to face one. The Agamemnon army. I put Agamemnon on a chariot. There he is right there. And that's it for the chariot options. I brought some club warriors because the club warriors, they have javelins. So my thought is I'll put those 2 units on the flanks and they'll help out, but they're not going to be fantastic. I brought 4 units of spearmen just to kind of pad out the line because most of my spend was put into Agamemnon's guards and Agamemnon's companions. They're so expensive that when you put the 4 of them up there goes 4,800, almost 1,500. What am I talking about? Almost 5,000 of your spend. And then, of course, the 2 light javelin men, since they did so well last time, I want to give them another opportunity to face down chariots. I'm gonna deploy now. Gosh, if I could split up the fight into these 2 areas, that'd be fun. Let's see how this battle goes, shall we? Alright, so it looks like he's confused. It looks like he's confused. I don't think he knows how he wants to face me yet. I am going to try and press the issue. I do want to keep these guys hidden in the trees. Alright, we're about to come under fire, I think.
The foe has sighted your hidden units.
Don't like that he can see my javelins. I'm going to move them over. Alright, so my spearmen are getting shot at. That's okay. Uh-oh. Let's see what these guys can do against the Lycian chariot, shall we? Let's try and take care of these chariots. Definitely my infantry are getting shot up over here. Okay, so I caught that. Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Low spend for a reason. Oh, man. Agamemnon's companions tore that chariot apart. Let's see if we can get the next one. Yeah. Yeah, you goofed. You goofed.
Your warriors are losing heart.
Okay, so my infantry's getting shot up over here, if that's okay. I'm gonna let them. Hold your ground, men. Hold firm. I'm gonna try and wrap around, collapse in on that. Let's get these guys out of here. Get them up here to throw some javelins. Ooh, throwing javelins right down into all this. Let's go ahead and pull Agamemnon into this blob. Look, okay, so that's it for the winged chariots. Just done. Let's move them down. Okay, here comes the javelins from these guys. Right into the backs of my men, I think.
Your warriors have been routed.
I'd rather chase Sarpedon. Okay, yeah, my infantry just got clowned by the Kopesh. And their skirmishers are also helping out a great deal. Oh no! Sarpedon's all over my javelins. And they're not letting my Agamemnon's guards get away with this. Let's go ahead and pull him through this. I'd love to get Agamemnon's chariot into these armored Lycian archers. Let's see if I can get my chariots out of, or my javelins out of this. Okay, okay, let's throw some javelins at Sarpedon. Okay, good. Let's keep pushing through this little alleyway. Come on, javelins. I'm gonna need you to turn around because there's somebody coming to flank attack me. Get these Kopesh fighters. Let's go ahead and chase. Chase. Fight, fight, fight. Who's Berserk? I think that's as a result of some of Sarpedon's abilities. Oh my gosh, we somehow wrapped up those Kopesh fighters. Okay, so these guys are broken. Let's throw javelins at Sarpedon again. Let's chase Sarpedon with these units. Oh no! Plowed right through the Agamemnon's guards. Oh, but he stopped fighting. Are these guys broken or not? Yeah, they're broken. Agamemnon's companion's doing work over here. This unit is stuck on these guys. Agamemnon is chasing down this guy over here. Gonna go Aristea. He's still in his chariot, thankfully. Let's go ahead. Nope, they're routing. I think this is a done deal if I can just get my javelins to do enough damage to Sarpedon. As you can see, though, I'm also at risk of hurting some of my own men with these javelins. I'm going to keep trying, though. Oh, that got his chariot. He's now on foot. So I'm going to stop throwing javelins at that now. I would rather throw javelins into these Kopesh fighters. This blob right here, especially with the giant champions. Let's aim for the champions. I know it's not ideal to face face people in the trees if you're on a chariot, but he's doing work. My light javelin men are doing fantastic. 29 kills and 17. Let's get this unit back in here. If all I have left to face at the end of this is gonna be Kopesh, then we're doing great. Don't you get in the mud. Don't you get in the mud. Thank you. Gotta chase off these light skirmishers, and look at all that ammo that they're losing with them. That's great news. The Agamemnon's companions are doing good work here against the armored Lycian archers, but the armored Lycian archers will, as we've discussed hold out for quite some time. Alright, the giant champions are now getting over here, trying to bail out Sarpedon. But we still have javelins. Plenty of javelins to throw. The Skopesh fighter is going to break out to try and face my spearmen. Agamemnon's doing just fine over here. Oh, we've gotten rid of armored Lycian archer. That's broken. Come out here and attack that. Agamemnon's companions coming down the hill here. Agamemnon himself still chasing off this light skirmisher. It's going to get plenty of kills doing that. Alright, my club warriors are out. They still have ammo too, so I could afford to use them to just chuck javelins at Sarpedon. Let's go ahead and actually let's go ahead and pull this unit out to heal. And there we go. There we go. Giant. Okay, yep. So I'm going to give this unit a chance to heal to show you. Look at that rate of healing. Holy cow! They don't even have to not be in battle for a while either. That's phenomenal. If you could imagine using them in the early stages of a fight and then pulling them out, I just kind of want to watch this rate of healing for a bit. They basically gain 10 hit points a second, and they have a healing cap of 6,630. That's... I'll be honest, I'm impressed by that. I really am. Okay, there you go. And that is Mycenae. Closing thoughts. If you're facing an opponent who's bringing Mycenae, bring chariots, and don't just bring the dinky winged chariots. They were food for those heavy infantry. They really were. Yeah. Gonna look at the final results here. Spearmen are a good choice just to, you know, hold the line and eat up enemy ammo. The Club Warriors did really good. They did really good, actually. I'm impressed by that. This is the only infantry unit that has a javelin option for Mycenae. The XP pickup on the Agamemnon's companions is just insane. And here goes Agamemnon's guards. Both units got 38 kills, but they also eliminated the chariots before they could do anything in this battle. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how Agamemnon plays out in multiplayer. Himself is a pretty boring leader choice. He doesn't have very many impressive stats, but he is a solid pick. He'll tank it. He does a good job of that. Anyway, yeah. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Ta-ta. I'll see you in the next video where I will be covering Lycia as it pertains to multiplayer. Coming soon. Ta-ta.